You want 2026 to be different. Then stop treating it like just another year. Because it won't wait for you to get ready, it won't slow down so you can catch up, and it definitely won't reward hesitation. If you don't have a plan before the clock strikes midnight on January 1st, you're already behind. Pre-planning isn't optional, it's survival, it's power, it's legacy. You cannot conquer what you haven't defined. That's the raw truth. Most people roll into a new year with vague hopes, recycled resolutions, and the same tired habits that never move the needle. They talk about change, but when you ask them what they actually want specifically, they freeze. I want to be successful. What does that mean? I want to get healthier. How? By when? With what plan? Clarity isn't some cute productivity buzzword. It's the foundation of every breakthrough. Without it, you're swinging in the dark, hoping to hit something, anything. But hope doesn't build empires. Precision does. Direction does. You need to sit with yourself in brutal honesty and map out exactly what you want 26 to look like. Not just in theory, but in gritty, unapologetic detail. What does success look like in your career? Is it a promotion? A pivot? A business launch from scratch? How much do you want to earn? What skills will get you there? What will your body feel like? What level of energy do you want to wake up with? Don't gloss over the details. The more vivid your vision, the more violently it pulls you forward. Vague goals have no grip. Sharp goals cut through the noise. And don't stop at what you want, decide why you want it. Because goals without reasons are weak. They collapse at the first sign of pressure. But when your clarity is backed by purpose, you become unstoppable. You start moving differently, thinking differently. You start saying no to distractions, not because you're disciplined, but because you're obsessed with what you're building. Clarity gives you the power to filter your life. Everything either aligns with your vision or it doesn't air, and when it doesn't, it gets cut. No guilt, no hesitation. This kind of clarity forces you to confront the gap between where you are and where you say you want to be. And that can be uncomfortable, sometimes brutally so. But that's where the power is. Most people avoid this part. They don't want to admit how far, of course, they've drifted. But you don't have time to lie to yourself. Not if you're serious about 2026. The truth will sting, yes, but it will also set the terms for your transformation. Once you see the gap, you can build the bridge. That bridge is made of choices. Daily, deliberate, intentional choices. When you know what you want and why you want it, your decisions gain weight. You're no longer spinning in circles, chasing shiny distractions. You're locked in, focused. And that kind of clarity doesn't just change what you do, it changes who you are. It sharpens your edge. It solidifies your confidence. Suddenly, you're not waiting for opportunities, you're creating them because you know exactly what aligns and what doesn't. So before you write another resolution, pause. Get clear. Take the time to define your outcomes in raw, specific, measurable terms. Not I want to be better, but I want to increase my income by $50,000 by Q4 through sex strategy. Not I want to get fit, but I want to lose 20 pounds by June by working out 5 days a week and following a nutrition plan. Give your goals the respect they deserve. This isn't about positive thinking. It's about powerful, intentional design. The kind of clarity that turns the chaos of life into a battlefield you can dominate. Because if you can see it clearly, vividly, undeniably, you can build it. And if you can build it, 2026 won't just be different. It'll be yours. If you don't control your calendar, it will control you. And that's not a metaphor, it's a warning. Time is the only resource you can never get back. Yet most people treat it like it's unlimited. They move through their days putting out fires, reacting to emails, checking notifications, and calling it productivity. But being busy is not the same as being strategic. If your time isn't blocked, focused, and protected, you are gambling with your future. Your calendar is not just a tool, it's a reflection of your values. Show me your schedule and I'll show you what matters to you. You say health is a priority? Where's your workout block? You say growth matters? Where's your learning time? You say family comes first. Then why is every evening filled with work overflow and late night emails? The brutal truth is this: if it's not scheduled, it's not real. Planning isn't just about tasks, it's about identity. Are you planning like the person you are or the person you're becoming? Your future self is watching, and they're either going to thank you or blame you for the decisions you make right now. This is where most people get it wrong. They plan reactively. They squeeze goals around distractions. You need to flip the script. Block time for what matters first. Non-negotiable. Start with the big rocks: your health, your goals, your growth, your key projects. Then let the rest fill in around it. The emails, the meetings, the errands, they'll expand to fill whatever time you give them. But if your priorities aren't on the calendar first, they'll be the first things to get sacrificed when the pressure rises. And it will rise. That's guaranteed. What's not guaranteed is your ability to stay grounded in the middle of it. You must treat your calendar like a CEO treats a launch schedule: precise, intentional, and mission critical. Use time blocks. Assign themes to your days. Set clear work hours and even clear off hours. Don't just track meetings, track deep work, reflection, workouts, learning, and recovery. Because real productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right things over and over until the results become inevitable. When every block of time serves a purpose, you start showing up with power. You stop drifting and start designing. And that shift, that's where transformation lives. Don't confuse being rigid with being strategic. A well-planned calendar is flexible when it needs to be, but never directionless. You adapt without abandoning. You adjust without derailing. You have a map, and when you get off track, you course correct instead of crashing. That's what pre-planning 2026 is about. It's not about obsessing over every minute. It's about honoring your minutes like they matter. Because they do. Every minute you let slip into randomness is a piece of your potential you'll never get back. Make your calendar sacred. Make your time non-negotiable. Because the moment you own your schedule, you start owning your life. That hope is not a strategy. That line should be engraved into your mindset as you prepare for 2026. Too many people move into a new year with the wish that things go well. They hope their job stays stable. They hope their health holds up. They hope their relationships improve. But hope alone doesn't build resilience, it builds dependency. You cannot afford to enter 2026 blind to the possibility of failure, setbacks, and detours. Because they will come. And the difference between people who crumble under pressure and those who rise from it isn't luck, it's preparation. The storm doesn't destroy the strong. It reveals the unprepared. You need to anticipate your pressure points before they hit. Think of it as strategic self-defense. Where are you most vulnerable? Is it your finances? Your emotional triggers? Your time management? And be honest, radically honest about your patterns. If you always lose discipline when you're overwhelmed, plan for it. If you cave under criticism, develop tools to protect your self-worth. If you burn out every few months, restructure your schedule now. Waiting for the problem to show up before building the solution is like boarding a ship with no lifeboats. You don't build a rescue plan after you hit the iceberg, you build it long before. Planning for adversity isn't pessimism, it's leadership. It's maturity. You don't plan for things to go wrong because you expect to fail. You plan so that even when chaos strikes, you don't spiral. You adapt. You adjust. You continue. That's what separates high performers from everyone else. They build their year around not just ambition but resilience. They assume obstacles will come. And when they do, they're not caught off guard. They don't panic, they pivot. That pivoting power comes from thinking ahead, creating options, and preparing your mind to stay calm when others collapse. This level of preparation requires emotional fitness. You have to train your mindset just like you train your body. How do you respond to criticism? How do you recover from loss? How do you stay grounded when things feel unfair or unpredictable? Emotional control doesn't mean ignoring your feelings, it means having a framework for navigating them. You must learn how to process disappointment without allowing it to poison your direction. You must practice stillness under stress, confidence under pressure, and decision-making under fear, because storms will hit. And when they do, your emotional response will either be your weapon or your weakness. And don't just prepare mentally, build practical buffers into your life, financial reserves, time margins, energy recovery days, relationships that fuel you instead of drain you. When everything in your life is operating on razor thin margins, one small disruption can collapse everything. But if you build in strategic space, you create room to respond instead of react. You give yourself the grace to handle the unexpected without falling apart. Life is unpredictable. But that doesn't mean you have to live in constant panic. You just have to plan smarter. Strong foundations don't eliminate storms, but they survive them. So as you pre-plan for 2026, don't just map your goals, map your resistance. Map your pressure zones. Map your emotional triggers. Create contingencies, build support systems. Identify fallback plans that keep you aligned when the original path gets blocked. Be the kind of person who doesn't just dream about success, but prepares for the adversity that comes with it. Because the truth is, anything worth building will test you. It will challenge your patience, your focus, your resolve. The storm isn't the enemy. Your unpreparedness is. And when you build for the storm before it comes, you don't just survive it, you walk through it stronger. Your future is infected by your environment. That may sound dramatic, but it's the truth most people ignore. You can have the best plans, the sharpest mindset, the most ambitious goals, but if the people around you are drowning in doubt, fear, laziness, or mediocrity, that energy seeps into you. It's subtle. You don't even notice it at first. A sarcastic comment here, a backhanded compliment there, a raised eyebrow when you speak your dreams out loud. Slowly, their disbelief becomes your hesitation. Their limitations become your boundaries. That's not friendship, that's sabotage in disguise. And in 2026, your environment cannot be accidental. It must be intentional. Ruthlessly intentional. Start paying attention to the energy you feel after spending time with people. Do you feel fueled, focused, fired up? Or do you feel drained, second-guessing yourself, making excuses, shrinking to fit into spaces that no longer match your vision? You are not obligated to stay loyal to environments that stunt your growth. You can love people from a distance and still choose to protect your trajectory. Because the truth is, your future depends on who has access to your mind. Conversations are currency. Every word you hear either deposits belief or robs it. You cannot afford overdrafts in 2026. We are shaped by the voices we listen to daily. Whether you realize it or not, you're absorbing narratives. Are those narratives pushing you forward or pulling you back? If you're constantly surrounded by people who normalize struggle, celebrate comfort, and fear risk, you'll start to believe that striving for more is somehow arrogant or unrealistic. That's how mediocrity survives, by making excellence feel extreme. But you weren't born to blend in. You were born to break patterns, and that starts with choosing voices that speak to your potential, not your past. This doesn't mean you have to find perfect people. Perfection isn't the goal. Alignment is. Surround yourself with people who could challenge you to level up, who see your ambition as an asset, not a threat. People who talk about ideas, not drama. Solutions, not excuses. Progress, not pity. These people are rare, but they exist. And sometimes they're not in your current circle. That's okay. You might have to build a new table instead of begging for a seat at someone else's. You might have to outgrow rooms you once called home. Growth feels lonely at first, but it's a signal that you're evolving. When you start upgrading your environment, something powerful happens. Your standards shift. What once seemed good enough no longer satisfies you. You start seeking excellence in everything: conversations, habits, routines. You stop tolerating average effort because you've seen what's possible when people show up with intention. And most importantly, you begin to believe that your future is worth protecting, not just dreaming about. That belief becomes your armor. It shields you from small talk, petty distractions, and emotional parasites that feed off your doubt. In 2026, make your circle your strategy. Don't just network online. Don't just socialize, elevate. Every person around you is either amplifying your mission or diluting it. There is no neutral energy when it comes to vision. So audit your circle the way a CEO audits performance. Who brings momentum? Who brings confusion? Who brings wisdom and who just brings noise? And then make the decision that most won't. Choose alignment over attachment. Choose growth over guilt. Because nothing will accelerate your journey faster than the right people, and nothing will suffocate it faster than the wrong ones. Discipline isn't about punishment, it's about power. Real, quiet, personal power. The kind of power that doesn't depend on motivation or mood. Because let's be honest, motivation is fleeting. It comes in waves, and when life hits hard, it disappears. But discipline, that's your anchor. That's the inner fire that says, I don't feel like it, but I'm doing it anyway. That's the voice that gets up at 5 a.m. when it's easier to snooze. That's the decision to show up for your goals when nobody's watching. Discipline isn't glamorous, but it's what builds legacies. Without it, your dreams stay concepts. With it, they become realities. And here's the truth: discipline is not something you're born with, it's built. It's forged in the choices you make when no one is applauding. It grows every time you say no to the easy path and yes to the necessary one. And the more you train it, the less you rely on willpower. People think they need more motivation. But what they actually need is structure, systems, habits, routines that carry you when your feelings betray you. Because your emotions will lie. They will beg for comfort. But your discipline will tell the truth. It will say you've got work to do. If you're serious about making 2026 the year everything changes, you need a discipline plan, not a wish list. What does that mean? It means deciding in advance what your non-negotiables are. What do you commit to every day, no matter how you feel? What routines are you building around your health, your focus, your financial goals, your mindset? Write them down. Track them. Track them. If it's not written, it's optional. And when something is optional, it will get sacrificed the moment resistance shows up. That's how goals deem not from failure, but from inconsistency. Discipline also requires boundaries, because if your energy is constantly being hijacked by other people's expectations, emergencies, or chaos, your habits will suffer. You can't build discipline in a storm of distractions. That means learning to say no even when it's uncomfortable. That means carving out sacred time for your priorities. That means understanding that being available to everyone often means being accountable to nothing. You want discipline? Start guarding your time like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Every yes to distraction is a no to progress. Let's talk about the mental side. Discipline isn't just about doing hard things, it's about becoming someone who identifies as a finisher. Every time you show up for a commitment, even when it's inconvenient, you build trust with yourself. That self-trust becomes identity. And once it becomes identity, everything changes. You're no longer forcing yourself to act, you're just being who you are. The goal is not to grind forever. The goal is to build habits so deeply wired into your life that they become effortless. That's when discipline evolves from effort into flow. It's not about struggle, it's about alignment. And finally, understand this. Discipline is a gift you give your future self. Every hard decision you make today, every workout, every focused hour, every early morning, every dollar saved is a deposit into your future. You're building a version of yourself who is calm under pressure, clear in purpose, and consistent in execution. That person doesn't show up by accident. They are built one disciplined choice at a time. So when people ask you how you made 2026 your breakthrough year, you won't talk about luck. You'll talk about discipline. You'll talk about doing what needed to be done, especially when it wasn't easy. Because that's where greatness lies. Not in the spotlight, but in the daily grind that no one sees. Clarity is your weapon in a world addicted to chaos. You cannot chase everything and expect to master anything. Yet so many people step into a new year with vague goals, scattered energy, and no real direction. They say things like, I want to do better, or I want to grow. But does that really mean? Vague intentions produce vague results. And in 2026, you don't have time for confusion. You need targets, precise ones. You need to wake up knowing exactly what you're moving toward and why. Clarity gives your actions power. Without it, even the hardest work can become aimless. With it, every step you take becomes part of something bigger. Clarity starts with brutal honesty. You can't design your future if you're lying about your present. What are you avoiding? What are you pretending isn't a problem? What goals have you been recycling year after year? Because you keep delaying the real work? Stop sugarcoating. Stop making excuses. Call things what they are. If you're inconsistent, name it. If you lack vision, admit it. Growth begins the moment you stop hiding from your own truth. And once you do, you can get specific. Not just I want to get healthy, but how, when, and what does success look like? Not just I want to make more money, but from where, doing what, and by when? The clearer your goals, the faster your focus sharpens. Clarity simplifies decision making. When you know your mission, distractions become obvious. You stop chasing every shiny opportunity because you know what fits and what doesn't. You can say no with confidence. You can filter your time, your energy, and your attention through a single question. Does this align with where I'm going? If the answer is no, you don't hesitate. That's the power of clarity. It doesn't just tell you what to chase. It tells you what to cut. And in a world full of noise, that's a superpower. But don't stop at outcome clarity, build process clarity. Know the habits that will get you there. Too often people are clear on the goal but vague on the daily steps. They know they want to write the book, but not when or how often. They want to launch the business but don't define the milestones. The bridge between your current self and your future success is not made of dreams, it's made of consistent, measurable actions. So map the steps, break down the process, create momentum by making it easy to begin and impossible to forget what matters most. Also, get clear on who you need to become. Every next level of your life will demand a stronger, sharper version of you. So ask yourself, what habits does that future version of you live by? What does their morning look like? How do they respond to fear, to failure, to success? Clarity isn't just about doing more, it's about being more. You can't create a next level life with a comfort level mindset. You need to upgrade your character to match your vision. This kind of clarity creates identity alignment. And once your identity aligns with your goals, discipline becomes instinctive. Lastly, clarity must be reviewed constantly. Life moves fast, goals evolve, priorities shift. If you don't revisit your direction regularly, you risk drifting off course without even realizing it. That's why pre-planning for 2026 isn't a one-time event, it's a rhythm. A system, a ritual, weekly reviews, monthly check-ins, quarterly resets, because something you find once, it's something you maintain. And when you do, everything changes, your confidence rises, your decisions get faster, your path becomes undeniable. That's what happens when you trade confusion for precision. You stop reacting and you start creating, not just surviving the year, but owning it one clear step at a time. Your time is not just valuable, it's sacred. It is the most non-renewable resource you have. Once it's gone, it's gone. And yet, most people treat time like it's infinite. They waste hours scrolling, binging, procrastinating, overcommitting to things that don't serve their future. They say yes when they mean no. They let their calendars get hijacked by chaos. And then they wonder why their dreams keep getting pushed into someday. But here's the truth, the life you want isn't built in the future. It's built in the hours you're wasting today. In 2026, managing your time must become an act of radical self-respect. Every minute you spend is a vote for the kind of life you're building. So how are you voting? Are you voting for distraction or discipline? Progress or procrastination? Growth or stagnation? Because your schedule is not just a list of meetings and to-dos, it's a reflection of your values. If your time isn't aligned with your goals are just fantasies. You don't need more hours in the day. You need better decisions in the hours you already have. Mastering your time isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters most, consistently, without apology. To do that, you must stop being reactive and start being intentional. Don't let your day happen to you, build your day with purpose. Start by planning the night before. Review your top 3 priorities. Block out time for focused work. Schedule breaks with intention. Protect your mornings like gold, they set the tone for everything. And stop multitasking. Multitasking is a myth that dilutes your energy and destroys your focus. Be fully present with one task at a time. That's how you get more done with less stress. And that's how you train your mind to respect time as a limited currency. Boundaries are non-negotiable if you want to master time. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not every request deserves a yes. You have to become fiercely protective of your time, even if it makes people uncomfortable. Say no without guilt. Say later without shame. Say this doesn't align with my goals right now and mean it. Because every yes to the wrong thing is a no to something more meaningful. You're not being rude, you're being responsible. If someone doesn't respect your boundaries, they don't respect your future. And you cannot afford to let guilt guide your calendar. Automation and delegation are your allies. If it doesn't require your genius, find a way to systemize or outsource it. Don't spend your prime energy on tasks that can be handled by a system, a tool, or someone else. This isn't about being lazy, it's about being strategic. Your job is to focus your highest energy on your highest value actions. You don't need to prove that you can do it all. You need to prove that you can do what matters. Let go of the need to control everything and start managing the one thing that actually drives results, your time. Finally, understand this, how you manage your hours is how you manage your life. Time management isn't about productivity hacks, it's about life alignment. If your time reflects your priorities, your life will move in the direction of your vision. But if your time reflects other people's agendas, your life will feel like a constant reaction. 2026 demands that you become the architect of your hours. No more sleepwalking through your days. No more waiting for the right moment. The right moment is built block by block, hour by hour. And when you treat every day like it matters, your future will reflect that power. It's easy to get caught up chasing dreams without defining what success truly means to you. Society bombards us with images of wealth, fame, and status as the ultimate markers of achievement. But real success is personal, it's deeply individual. If you don't clarify what success looks like for you in 2026, you risk spending the year running in circles, chasing someone else's version of victory. The first step to intentional living is defining success on your own terms. What feels meaningful to you? What gives you a sense of fulfillment beyond the applause or the paycheck? Without this clarity, you'll never find lasting satisfaction. True success is multidimensional. It's not just about money or career milestones, it's about balance and alignment across every area of your life. How are your relationships, your health, your mental clarity, your contribution to the world? Success means showing up fully in all these spaces, not sacrificing one for the other. When you set goals for 2026, include the whole picture. Success that's only about work is fragile. Success that honors your values, nourishes your soul, and supports your well-being is resilient. This is the kind of success that fuels sustainable growth, not burnout. Knowing what success means also allows you to set the right priorities. When your vision is clear, you can make decisions confidently. You won't waste time on things that look good on the surface but don't actually move you closer to what you want. You'll stop overcommitting and start saying no to distractions. This clarity creates focus and urgency. It keeps your eyes on the prize even when obstacles arise. And that focus is what transforms intentions into achievements. Your personal definition of success is also your compass during tough times. When setbacks threaten to derail your progress, your why keeps you anchored. It reminds you that success isn't just about immediate results, it's about growth, resilience, and purpose. You learn to celebrate small wins, to adjust course without giving up, and to keep pushing forward even when the path isn't clear. That kind of perseverance doesn't come from motivation alone, it comes from a deep connection to what success really means to you. Without your own definition of success, you'll always feel like something is missing. You'll chase goals that don't fit your soul, and you'll risk sacrificing joy for achievement. But when you claim your vision of success, you create freedom. Freedom to build a life that feels authentic, rewarding, and uniquely yours. You stop trying to live up to others' expectations and start living up to your own potential. This freedom is empowering. It turns pressure into passion and stress into strategy. Finally, remember that your definition of success is not fixed. It evolves as you grow. What mattered at 20, 30, or 40 may not matter the same way at 50. That's why revisiting and refining your vision is essential. Make it a practice to check in with yourself regularly. Are you still chasing what truly matters? Are you honoring your values? Are you allowing your definition of success to expand and deepen? When you stay connected to this evolving vision, you ensure that every step you take in 2026 is not just productive, but profoundly meaningful. This year, don't settle for simply moving forward, commit to moving forward with intention. When you define success on your own terms, align every action with that vision, and stay connected to what truly matters, you don't need ego of accomplishments, you create a life of purpose. Let 2026 be the year you stop drifting.